We are live.
Okay. We are now back in session. Is there any action to be taken from our executive session?
No action.
Okay, very good. Let's move on. We were in the middle of a roundtable discussion. I believe we ended with Steve. We'll move on to Michael.
Circling back to what Steve mentioned earlier about the YouTube comments not being available, I'd like to see something changed on that. I think it's the right of the people in the community that pay for everything and fund everything, that they should have a right to make their comments. Also, I've had a couple people complain about, some things that were brought up multiple times by myself, and that's the noise pollution out there from Verizon. Haven't heard nothing being done with that yet. Would like to see what could be done with that. I stopped and had a hoagie at Parker's the other day, and wow, when I walked out, it was very noticeable, the noise and the clattering, and I just feel like it's been brought up multiple times.
Let me ask you, the council member, what do you want us to do? Because we have tried to do it. We don't have anything here in legislation that gives me any authority to go do it.
One of the things we could do.
You sent letters.
Yeah, we sent a letter. I mean, I'll look through the zoning code and see. It's possible that we could go after them for a noise violation through our code. We don't have a noise ordinance, but we might be able to go for noise pollution or something like that, or nuisance.
We cannot just approach them and apply.
Well, we try.
Yeah,
That's our
And
problem.
you haven't got a hold of anybody that's,
You know someone. I say
willing
something
to-
only to the corporate.
He said something to corporate, I say something to the local people. You have to understand, and I don't care if they're watching this and they hear it, but Frontier sucks. They're going through bankruptcy right now. I'm serious. We can go out on an auto accident or a storm.
well, and I can respect that to a degree, but at the end of the day, if I served sucky food at my restaurant and I wasn't getting business and I was creating a ruckus in the neighborhood, they wouldn't give a damn, to be honest with you, whether Mike Mays had problems facing bankruptcy. They would want to know when the noise was going to stop. And I know, I'm just want to be real clear here. I think it's unfair that we can't figure something out. And whether it's a big corporation, I heard from Matt one time, and I don't know exactly the gist of it 100%, but he said something about how do you go after corporation? Well, they're no different than people. Truthfully, there's somebody at the top that should have to take care of that. And it's not right.
If I have something that I can legally say, here's our ordinance. Just walk up and say,
Well,
you're gonna take that out.
then what do we need to do to create something then? Because if we don't have nothing in place, then we probably should have something, because again, anybody can go up there any time of the day and just stand up there and listen. I mean, it's really annoying, to be honest with you. I mean, like I said, the other day I was at Parker's, come out, had a great hoagie, by the way, come out, noisy as can be. And I'm like, this is, nothing's changed. They haven't even attempted to, how hard would it be for them to go and, buy 2-inch thick foam and line the inside of that? And, maybe, I don't know. I just can't imagine it being that complicated to fix the problem. So,
I don't either, but we don't have anything that says we're gonna write anybody up for the noise decibel. The problem here is, that's been there for a long time.
and that's fine, but
Yeah, but that's a problem. If
Yes.
they go up there now, they can turn around and sue the village. We have no parameter by which they are.
okay, so what can we do, Joe? What can we?
Here's what I'll do. I will come back to the next meeting. I will look to see if we can do some kind of a nuisance action. I'll look at our nuisance statute outside of the zoning code, if Art said we've looked at that. And I'll see if we can do something like that. That's something we could file that they'd have to respond to.
But would we also have to have some sort of gauge as to what level of noise is too much.
That's my next question. Do we buy a decibel, what do you call the machine thing?
Well, let me see what what parameters are in our nuisance statute, because we do have one, and then that'll tell me.
It doesn't say anything about, it doesn't actually give you a parameter for the noise though.
Right, but what it might talk about is if it's creating a hindrance to surrounding property owners, and then we could talk to the surrounding property owners, get that data. I just need to look at it, so I'll do that.
And then again, I'm just going to be real brief on it, but I'm going to repeat myself. The people that live in this community pay toward every bit of this equipment, just like they pay toward everything done in our community. And I really, really feel like they should have the right to make comments in the same location as where we're streaming, whether it be on Facebook, whether it be on YouTube. They should have the right to make comments.
Well, if you would look at the Facebook comments today, and I agree with you, what I don't like about Facebook right now is trying to hurt the village or whatever. If you look at the comments today, I said we are trying to figure out a way to stream to both of those platforms at the same time. The only reason we did this is to try to make it stable, because the biggest complaint when we're sitting.
We only had 2 people today complain about it, and I made a point on Facebook. I think it's interesting that we've had 8 meetings since we changed to YouTube. Nobody said a word about comments or anything. All of a sudden today, 2 people. Now, last time I looked, there were only 2 people who
might
complained.
have only been 2 people that said something online today. But the night that we voted on it, I sat here and said, I don't think we should take comments down. I remember saying, and I had people that following week say, thank you for saying that. I think that's bull that they're taking down. So, yeah.
Both sides. And what did we do that night, Steve? We set an ad hoc committee up to look into it. What have they done?
Who's on that committee?
Mike? I think Jeremy and Mark.
Well, was there ever a date set for that? Because I never heard of a date set for that.
You're the technology.
I don't know how to set a date. I did all this. No, there hasn't been a date.
Pretty simple, Jeremy. You and I will just figure out how to do the vote and we'll turn the comments on for everyone.
Yeah, that's pretty simple. We don't really take a special meeting to do that. I think that's,
Vote for that.
well, I mean, that's fine. That's
So
absolutely.
I would like, if we're
But
going to do
Mike,
something like that, I
understand
want to
it's
vote.
not
take-
his responsibility to set a meeting.
And I don't need you to tell me that, honestly.
Kinda is.
Really,
It's
what
not
you
even
asked?
truthful.
Here's
Yeah.
why I was saying.
Yeah.
You know, if we're going to do this, Jeremy made a good point. Let's just have a vote. Do you want them up or you do want them down? So let's just do it. If you want to make a motion, do so, and we can either go up or down. It makes it real simple, real fast.
I'll make a motion that we turn comments on the YouTube when we're live streaming our meetings.
I'm going to second that.
Motion by
So-
Steve, second by Michael. Discussion.
So I would like to discuss and say it's completely and utterly unnecessary. It is not needed. Every person in the village can comment multiple ways, multiple times. For people to have one safe space is not too much to ask. If there was no place to comment, this argument would hold water, but it does not. They can, neighborhood app, Facebook, email me, whatever. It's like, it's not that people can't comment. They comment constantly, and that's what a democracy is. No one is guaranteed a space to comment. They're guaranteed the ability to comment. They don't have to do it here, here, or here. And that's why, and I'm sorry, and I just realized I came across a little rant, and I don't.
No, it's cool.
It's okay. So we're going to cancel each other out, but I welcome you guys with your opinions, and we're probably just going to.
Let me know about that then.
Yeah.
We're not required to even allow people into these meetings, are we? I mean,
They're open for people to be in.
in today's world technology, I think you should give every opportunity you can. If there's 6 different ways for the public to reach us, but there's a 7th and 8th way available, make the 7th and 8th way available. We always talk about wanting more people involved. I know a few people who, to make a comment in real time, coming up here and doing it is not a possibility. I mean, I got a good friend that owns property in town here, but he spends 90% of his time, I mean, he lives in town and owns property in town, so he spends 90% of his time in other cities because he's a pilot. He watches the meetings and might want to respond. He never has, but he might want to respond in real time. What are we afraid of hearing, being called a name or something? I mean, that kind of juvenile stuff just flies over me, and I disregard those comments anyway, but I want to see the comments in real time. Sometimes there's been debates going on this floor, and I've kind of had it in my head how I feel, and I'll look down and see comments, and I think, well, I've never thought about it that way. So I don't know what the fear is of hearing the public.
Okay, that's not the fear. We all hear the public. We don't have any problem with that. Understand that Facebook is mainly one direction. And I've had a lot of people say, I would comment the opposite. I don't want to get bullied. I don't want to get yelled at or whatever. And that's not even it. We're not required to give them a forum to it. They can go start their own. Your thoughts on Georgetown Council, they can start whatever they want. Like he said, there are plenty of places they can do it. One of the things that bothers me, well, there are two things that bother me. Number one, they serve no purpose. I mean, you get people on there that say stuff that's not even pertinent to what we're talking
Well,
about.
some do.
Some do,
Yeah.
but you have a lot that don't. If I'm looking at moving to a place to open a business or to live, I'm going to go on Facebook and I'm going to look at it and I'm going to see all that and I'm going to go, nope, don't care.
I've heard more excuses of why businesses do and don't come here. They won't come here because we don't have fiber, but then they
Well,
still come
I
here.
actually own 3 businesses, actually, that are state registered businesses. And I've never come to that conclusion of owning and developing and creating 3 different businesses. So being a business owner, an actual business owner, I don't know that I would look at Facebook and say, I'm not going to go there because of the comments on their community.
You
wall.
wouldn't, other people would.
Right.
So
We got
I'm
a
just giving my
comment from
opinion.
Mark. Mark,
I want to
you
finish,
something?
I want to
Yeah.
finish what I had to say.
Go ahead, real fast.
I'm sorry,
Um,
I didn't realize you hadn't, Mark. I think I interrupted you.
No, and furthermore, there was comments made on there. I called a council member in regard to some of them comments, and they were kind of disrespectful, and kind of hurtful. But you have to, if you're going to be in this position, you have to have kind of broad shoulders. And you also have to think of other people, not just your own opinion, but other people, even people that are running business and have been successful with running business, and their opinions. No, I'm not a college-educated person, but I've been quite successful in the businesses that I have ran. And so with what I said earlier in regards to the comments that were made on Facebook yesterday evening, they were pretty unfair, the comments they made in regards to the mural on the wall, for example. But you know what? Not everybody knows Mike Mays. Not everybody, they might have heard what they wanted to hear about Mike Mays, but they don't personally know Mike Mays. So with the fact that I chose to put our Savior and Lord's picture on that wall, I'd like to state that I didn't put it up there because I'm perfect, just wonderful saint. I am a person that believes and trusts in the Lord and what He did for our souls and our salvation.
Okay.
And I'd like to leave that.
Let's move
with that.
on, Mark.
The original, am I on?
Yes.
The original question or what the motion on the table is, should Facebook posts be allowed or not?
It's the motion was to allow it to be on both media, both
Okay.
YouTube and Facebook.
Okay, I'm going to vote absolutely not. 1776. Was there Facebook? The First Amendment was written in 1776. We all have an opportunity, the press does, the public does, whoever, to sit in the seats just like I used to and say what we want to say.
Really? My mother can sit in one of those seats? Tell me how that's going to work. There's a lot of people that can't come here and sit in these seats.
I guess I'm done. Steve interrupted me without being recognized. I speak when I'm recognized. Thank you.
And I interrupt when I hear It's nonsense.
Just vote.
Well, we have a motion, we have a motion on the floor.
I would like, this is,
Okay,
I
let's,
swear, I could be convinced to vote for your motion, Steve. On the condition, and I don't know how you guys are gonna feel about this, that I don't like it, but I'm trying to find a compromise, that we would allow the post, but in no way, shape, or form are they required to be made a part of the meeting in real
Oh, I'm
time.
all for that.
Yeah, that's.
I'm all for
I
that.
can respect that.
very good.
Let them
Okay.
fall where they fall.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Steve to allow both media forms to carry public
No, it
comments.
sounds like it needs to be rephrased. in
Okay,
such
you
a
want to
way-
rephrase
I
your?
didn't mean to screw that up, I'm sorry.
No, it's very fair. Trying to think how to word it. So I propose that that when we stream these meetings on YouTube, that we turn comments on, but that those comments aren't required to be read as part of this meeting or necessarily discussed.
We have that motion. Do we have a second? Michael? Okay, any more comments?
I'm confused. Are we doing it on YouTube only, or are we doing it on YouTube and
Both.
Facebook?
Both.
Posts.
We're doing it on, is that what you said?
The people could post on Facebook and post on YouTube?
Yes.
Are you streaming it on Facebook? Restate the motion as you want it.
But before I do, because I want to make sure I'm clear, we currently stream on YouTube, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
You want
I
to
think
just rescind your previous motion?
Okay, I'll withdraw my previous motion.
Okay,
I make a motion that we continue to stream on YouTube, but that we turn comments on so that people that are watching the live stream are able to comment, but this council is not required to read those comments aloud or make them part of the discussion or part of this meeting.
is there anything to do with Facebook, a part of that meeting?
No.
Okay, okay, we have that motion by Steve. Is there a second to that? Michael, any more comments? If not, then we would need to have a vote. So if you would, Brian?
Mark,
No.
Kelly,
No,
Mike? Yes. Nancy,
No.
Jeremy?
No.
Steve?
Yes.
Okay, well, the motion fails for lack of that. So we're back to where we are currently.
Okay.
Okay. If,
Is that a dead issue? Is the committee gonna meet? Are we gonna do this every meeting we have?
you guys have,
I will bring it
every meeting if you want to, but
It's a fair question. That's what I won't bring it up and continue to, I've made my best case for it. I think it should have happened. It's not, I won't keep beating that drum personally. I can't speak for anybody else, but
I have a suggestion. Why don't the three of you meet, since there is an ad hoc committee, and work together yourselves to see if there's a better solution that would work for everyone, and then bring that back to the table. If you support something as a committee, like we do in other committees, you'll have a more favorable chance of getting that through the whole council.
good idea. Okay.
waste my time.
Okay, so it's up to you three, Mike,
I don't want to waste.
Jeremy, and Mark to try
Because I
to
don't feel
see
like
if
it's
that's
going to
okay.
go anywhere, Kelly, to be honest with you. I mean,
Not up
Well-
for
we
debate
just,
tonight.
we just
Well-
made it, we just tried to make it possible by not putting it in the comments of the meeting. I mean, so it's basically just going to be there. And we
This is
can't
now
live
going to
with
go
it.
down to this ad hoc committee for them to bring back. If you can't come to agreement there, then it just dies. So you guys can hash it out however you wish to do, bring it back to whatever form you want. It may not be any form whatsoever. And we can look at any alternatives you may come up with. Okay? Michael, you have any, well, you've already been, Nancy, please.
I don't have a thing.
You sure?
I'm positive. I tried.
Jeremy?
I have one quick thing. I would like to thank the member of the village that came for the Dora community input meeting. Lots of fantastic ideas, suggestions, questions. Deeply appreciated that. We will be having another one to follow up in the future, but I don't know when yet. And I will also be continuing to as Councilmember Mace wisely suggested, to not wait for people to come to us, but to go out and visit as many people as I can face to face to gather information about the DORA. So thank you for input up to this point. Watch for updates in the future, and I'm done.
Okay, Mark.
I just have one quick thing. Apparently there have been some posts on Facebook about council or the town or something. I don't read those posts. Personally, you could say, I'm a giraffe. Mark Anderson is a giraffe. I would never know. Anybody who wants to come and say what they want to say, we have seats. Don't be a coward and say it on Facebook. Let me say that again. Don't be a coward and say it on Facebook. We have seats to sit in. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, is there anything else to be brought up before council? If not, we would certainly, before you think of that, we would certainly entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
By Steve, do we have a second? By Kelly, all in favor signify aye.
Aye, I
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Well, thank you.
We're still live,
I'll,
guys. I haven't shut it off yet, just saying.
I will, touch base with you. A couple things.
Okay. 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 I should be around.